My name is Ottley-O'Connor. I'm the Executive Principal at the Northern Schools Trust as main base at North Liverpool Academy. I started this role September last year, 2018. Previous to that I'd been an Executive Principal within a small group of schools in Bolton, and previous to that an Executive Principal within a few others. I've been a substantive head for sort of 10 years in my own schools, and then gone to a variety of other schools that maybe have been in special measures and help bring them out of measures, or in groups of schools in challenging circumstances. This one's different in that we have, all our schools are good and actually on the journey to becoming great. It's a different challenge, and again it's the idea of if you like a collaborative convergence, bringing together the skills and expertise within there and developing and growing people to become the best we can be as a trust. So I've been a senior leader for over 25 years and 15th year now as a head teacher or executive head teacher. Right, one word for me: kind. At home, my family, my wife and 5 sons may disagree, but I think kind and aspirational. Favourite song? To be mushy, it's You Do Something To Me by Paul Weller, because that was a song that's special to me and my wife. But I like naff pop music from the 70s and 80s. Favourite film? I'm going to go with my sons. I watch a lot of films. The Guardian of the Galaxy. For teachers, The Teacher Toolkit by Ross McGill. For leaders at all levels, Andy Buck's Leadership Matters. Really sad, my phone. It organises my diary, it organises my life, it allows me to work hard, but it also allows me to plan to play hard. Again, across the trust, it's an incredibly passionate group of people, passionate for changing lives, for really making the best possible difference. This school in particular, North Liverpool Academy, is a community school, and we're moving towards becoming a more comprehensive community school with the intake. High levels of disadvantage in the area. We're in the shadow of Anfield, this year's Champion League Liverpool players, and the community has some significant challenge. When I speak in the community and walk out and meet people in shops, they still talk about this and what this has done for the area, which I think is truly inspirational as a message. From September 2019, the new Ofsted framework begins. And it's been interesting to see how that's grown and developed over the last year and the consultation with that. Some people have been critical, but I've actually quite enjoyed that open debate around that. So taking part in the first draft, the consultation that's taken place, and I took part in the consultation and encouraged many people through social media and other colleagues I met to at all levels again to take part in that consultation to help shape, same as any head teacher with any school in the country at the moment. We've read the handbook, we've been to the briefings, we have that information, and we're readying ourselves and readying our schools to work to make sure we meet the criteria within there. I'm hopeful about the future of the new framework. It does concern me, the amount of time the inspectors have and how that's going to go. But to be honest, that change is inevitable, and that uncertainty around that change is inevitable anyway. Many of the things within the framework we were doing anyway, and that's part of our regular development plan to improve those things. Attendance is a priority, it will remain a priority. The new framework won't make any difference to that. I suppose the biggest change is the change we're on anyway, and where we're trying to go is that around the curriculum and that quality of education. I do find the words they use useful for us to be able to frame what we're doing, but again we're doing what we do because we think it's the right thing to do. We've had several, if you like, I'll call them pilots, and a phrase I use, we've got more pilots than Heathrow in terms of the projects that people do. Science, for example, here, the Key Stage 3 curriculum in September, it didn't feel right, and the challenge given to them right in September to move forward, they took straight away. And one example is they managed to secure some funding from the Chemistry Society and a few other things, and we put the date forward on the 1st of November. We were going to have a community firework display. So the community firework display, which in the end we had over 600 people, parents, grandparents, friends, families in the community here. A wonderful display, but the work the 7s and 9s did as part of their curriculum with chemical reactions and so on building up to that time, just in a crescendo. So on that event, where the hot dogs were being sold and where all that sort of thing, we had in the sports hall, a big screen up showing the work the children had done, the videos of the explosions and things, all the work around. Wonderful, led by students and staff for the community. In the area, it's the first time a community fireworks display has been done in this area. Antisocial behaviour went down in the area, whereas people may have been mischievous on such nights. It was a great success. That was science. If I can give you one piece of advice for Ofsted, for leaders, not to interpret what they think Ofsted want, but do what you do because it's the right thing to do for your community, and then compare yourself to the mark scheme. My experience when that's occurred, you get great outcomes and you get a buy-in from you and make a difference for your community. Whatever change I'm looking to bring in, trying to encourage the community I'm working with to see the issues for what it is from all sides, own it, and it's our problem to solve, and we've got the ability to do that. If we haven't, we bring it in from elsewhere or whatever else to do. Seek the solutions ourselves and doing it ourselves to be able to create the solutions and then actually get on and do it. To make sure we understand what the challenge is. And actually, if the community, I'll use staff for example, if I'm wanting to implement it, if staff can see an issue, whatever the issue is that we want to change, through their own eyes but through the eyes of others, so they've got a shared perception, and then actually understand that that issue rests with us, with them individually, and consistency means all of us, because sometimes people think, they'll say you need to be more consistent, and that group will say they need to be more consistent. Well really it's we need to be more consistent. So if we can see the problem, we can own the problem together and then collectively solve the problem, even if there's a remit of options and choices people have got, you've got the best chance then to be in a position to get on and do it. You do face resilience, and you can face resilience from sometimes you've got the people who are always the ones who are the cynics, but you can actually face it from the people who are normally very positive, and you should embrace it. I do believe feedback is a gift. If staff are saying as a whole, we want to see a greater consistency around, or why can't we, then unless there's a good reason not to do it, then we should be looking to do those things. It is hard. I would say if you fight change, then you'll create friction. Now, fighting it, having your say is important, but actually if you can embrace the change but still have the same challenge, you need people to have that healthy debate. So actually I want that resistance. I want people to understand and talk. And it's not a democracy. We don't all vote and say, right, we're doing it, we're not doing it. That may be a time for that, but as a leader you want to seek opinions and say that's where we're going. Recruitment and retention. If every member of staff in schools looked after themselves, their own well-being, and then helped and supported colleagues, we'd be in a much better, healthy state to be able to support each other. I was teaching a geography lesson. I was out of subject specialism, but teaching and showing willing to be able to do that. And it was a Year 8 lesson around the Armada and the sinking of the Armada and this big battleship that did a turn and turned too quickly and toppled over. And I showed the Mary Rose toppling over and bent down as I did it. And as I squatted down, my pants split from the front right round to the back of my waist. And I promptly took my jacket off and fastened it round. Reminded the children I had the ability to exclude them, and the staff I had the ability to suspend, and that's it. In a joking manner, and I got an award in the staff briefing the following day. Having only been in the school for a few weeks, of a needle and cotton and a new pair of PE pants that we lent out to people if they split the trousers. So that was a moment.